Now, the first question that I want to ask y'all is when you get older and you're about to know that you're at the age that you can retire if possible, um, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do with your free time? Do you want to get another job? Or would you just like to travel and spend time with loved ones? Well, these are a few of the questions that you need to consider when you're young, like our age. When you're our age, it's important to really start learning and just kind of learning about all of the different types of outlets that there are for saving for retirement. Um, there are some people, when they're at the retiring age, they retire from their career and they realize that they don't have as much funds as they thought in their retirement savings that they thought that they would to begin with. So these people end up actually having to get a part-time job, not because they're bored, but because they don't have a choice and they can't support themselves on their retirement and Social Security that they're getting each month. Now, in order for different generations to avoid any unnecessary hardships that we might get when we are older, it's important to look into different 401k plans and different savings options that your bank or financial institution may offer. Um, while we're young, we also need to take the necessary steps in order to ensure that our future is going to be as easy and as enjoyable as possible. The first problem would be saving for retirement. And failing to save for retirement may actually lead to an unnecessary feeling of being uncomfortable when you get older. You know, when you get older, you want to be able to kind of relax and enjoy your family and the community that you've built ever since you were younger. You don't want to have to get another job to support yourself, and you want to be able to do whatever you want. So, actually, the average retired individual has the opportunity to live long past their retirement age. So, since this is actually a big deal now, a lot of people are living to their late 80s, early 90s, some people even into their 100s. Um, it's important to kind of plan out how long you think your life is going to last past 70 and a half or 65 whenever you decide to retire, whenever you can retire. You have to kind of budget the retirement money and kind of figure out how much you're going to use per year, what you're going to use the money on. That's really important. Some of the different aspects that we need to think about at retirement include healthcare, living costs, and recreational expenses. Recreational expenses may include birthday presents, Christmas, anything like that. Baby boomers also may actually have unrealistic expectations of how their retirement is supposed to go, just from looking at their parents and seeing how their parents had it. When the older you become, the more down to earth and realistic you actually become. So you kind of can start processing and understanding information more than you can when you're a teenager, where you have these unrealistic expectations that when you retire, you're going to travel, you're going to go to Europe and just do things with your husband or your wife or your kids that you may not have been able to do when you were younger. Actually, the money for retirement does not actually, surprise, surprise, just appear out of nowhere. You have to start saving it, you've got to invest it, and actually, some jobs now are offering dollar for dollar up to a certain percentage of each paycheck to go into a 401k plan. All right, to have a cushion when you retire, make sure that you invest and look into different options for 401k plans. Not everybody chooses to have a 401k plan, which is also okay. Um, and it's also important to kind of pick a plan that you're not going to have full access to until you retire. That way, it makes it harder for you to go in and use the money whenever you want for anything that you might need. You can actually, like I was saying, have a certain percentage of your paycheck go into a retirement fund. Mine right now is taking out 6%. My employer also matches dollar for dollar up to 6%. So if I were to put 10% of each paycheck into that retirement fund, my employer still would only do 6% of that paycheck, if that makes sense. Senior citizens that have not been able to save enough for that cushion actually, like I said, still have to do a part-time job because they cannot afford to pay for their everyday expenses because they did not start saving at a young age, according to Kavasi. And that was a study done in 2012. And also, according to Dorfman, in order to have a comfortable and enjoyable retirement, we should opt into an automatic enrollment of the 401k plan, as this could help save us when we may not be able to remember to save on our own. So the automatic, like I said, the automatic 6% just automatically comes out of your paycheck and goes right into the plan. Now you can log in online, or you can get statements sent to your house about how much you have in your 401k, how much interest you're earning, how much your employer is putting in there. But you're not able to access the funds until you're a certain age, and that definitely helps save for retirement. Alright, so actually, according to a study that Reynolds conducted, more than 4,000 individuals between the ages of 18 and 65 were heading in the right direction to replace more than 60% of their income during retirement. So 60% of what you earned from when you started your career until you retired, that much money, these 4,000 individuals are on the right track to have that amount available to them when they retire. And that is a lot if you think about it. 60% of your annual income for 40 or 50 years, just for the extra, you don't have to, you're not actually earning it, it's retirement. So it's kind of money just there for you to use for things that you may need. We should also be looking into different options for retirement plans. Some allow you, like I said, to do the automatic deduction from your paycheck. And some employers will match that deduction. Like I said, 6%, $100 for dollar, 100% up to 6%. And this is actually called a safe harbor plan. That allows you your contribution to be made automatically, which allows more money actually to be put in your plan because you don't have to remember to do it. It's also easier because you don't have to remember to put the money in the retirement plan. The most important thing is to have a retirement plan. Know some of the things that you are going to want to do when you retire. If you want to travel, it's important to research those places, research the currency exchange rate if there is one, research all the recreational activities that there are to do there, research the plane ticket costs, which I know it may differ a little bit, but you can kind of get an idea of where the amount of money that you're going to need for that activity. And that way you can kind of budget your retirement. Also, you may have a family and grandkids, maybe even great-grandkids, so you also want to make sure that you're allowing yourself enough money to spoil them and to get them things that they want, things that their parents may not want them to have, but you want them to have. As a grandparent, you're allowed to do that. So it's also important to make a plan about how much money you want to save. You need to look at your current expenses and also figure out a few different ways to bring in income. So that might be a part-time job, making crafts and selling them on sites like Etsy or eBay, even Facebook is a good idea. As it's never too early to begin saving for retirement, we should start saving early. Look into 401ks, traditional and Roth IRAs, and things like that. Alright, so if we do save for retirement, we're able to live comfortably and kind of live an exciting retired life rather than have to work really hard. You know, retirement's supposed to be a time of rest and relaxation, not a time of stress and constant worrying about whether or not you're going to have enough money. When certain individuals begin to think about whether or not they have the money for it, they may shut down. People don't like actually to hear the word budget because they feel like they don't need one. They feel like they've got it all up here in their mind about how they're going to spend the money, what they're going to use the money for. But it's actually a good idea to have things written down because I know if I don't write things down, I forget them 100%. If we plan to fail, if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. So if we get to that age where we're able to retire, we may actually find out that the funds aren't there anymore. We may have used them, they may have just not been there at all to begin with. And so to summarize, there are a million different ways that we can use our money throughout the years. One way should absolutely be required for us to use it is to invest a small amount of each paycheck into a retirement fund. We should absolutely take advantage of the options that are available to us, such as the employment contribution. While we're young, we need to take the necessary steps to make sure that our future will be as simple or as extraordinary as we want and look into different options.